You're listening to Home Sweet Home with Russ, McClellan, and friends. And here's Russ.
Hey, welcome back to Home Sweet Home with Russ McClellan. And today, Ethan Burnett. How you doing, Ethan?
Good.
Hey, we were talking in the first segment, man. You have a lot going on.
Yeah.
And so when you circled back around with Luke Groen, who had talked to you, and you mentioned in the last segment you had 3 foster kids, you and your wife take care of foster kids, and those are temporary placements, right? Because you said they go back sometimes?
Yeah. Generally speaking, I mean, you kind of never know what you get. I mean, the whole goal of foster care and how our foster system is set up is reunification with like the parents, right? We want families need to be together. That's at the end of the day. May not always be as good of an environment as what, say, we could offer them, but at the end of the day, it's best for kids to be with their parents. So you want the parents to be successful. So yeah, at the end of the day, anytime a placement comes in, most often than not, the goal is reunification.
Yeah, it gives the parent time to get things put together.
Absolutely.
And understand.
Get the support they need and all that kind of stuff, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that loving, giving lifestyle, you know, what's really intriguing about that to me, and we've done about 80 of these shows, and I've met a lot of new people. You know, I spent the vast majority of my career in Lake Chelan up until 3 years ago when we opened this office down here. But I've always been in real estate. And what's nice now is that I'm meeting people from all over North Central Washington. Now we have agents in almost every community, many agents in almost every community in North Central Washington at our company. But what's cool about real estate, and to me, is that you can do a lot of things with it.
Absolutely.
I mean, there's so many different angles that I'd love to hear your perspective and how you would talk to other people that are thinking about this last year. You know, there's probably a lot of people stuck. There's probably a lot of fear, a lot of confusion, and there's probably a lot of people that are taking it personally like they did something wrong. And in reality, they probably didn't do anything wrong. What would you say to them about real estate in general?
Yeah, no, I think for me, for me and my wife, we operate definitely as a unit. One of the biggest draws to real estate for myself and for us and our family and what we desire to do with our future is kind of twofold. It's the opportunity and it's the flexibility, the lifestyle that real estate opens up. I've had some other high-end sales jobs and stuff before, done software sales for like medical software type stuff here for some local companies, stuff like that, and made good money and things of that nature. And you can make great money doing other things, but real estate has the potential for life-changing opportunities. And one thing that just always resonated with me and that Luke Groen drives home, I bet he's like a broken record, but I love it in this sense. And he was like, even beyond real estate itself, like real estate transactions, the amount of the people that you meet and the opportunities that spur up from being in real estate that are even outside of real estate, right? These opportunities, because everyone's involved in real estate in some way, shape, or form. Most everyone will eventually buy a home. You got your business leaders in the valley that are, having commercial properties and things of that nature, people wanting, recreational properties out here. We live in such a beautiful area. And so just the number of people that you meet and the opportunities that creates for opening the door for the sky's the limit, that was extremely appealing to me as someone who I would say is an opportunist in the terms of I'm pretty go with the flow. And, I've got a couple guiding points in my life. I'm a Christian. I serve at our church in Grace City. My wife and I, we foster. And so like pretty much my whole mantra, everything that I guide my life around is just serving others, being the most, not necessarily affluent, but influential that I can be in just serving others in our community. And the more opportunities that I'm given in life to connect and meet other people is potential more opportunities that allows me to do that better. And real estate like really hit that on the nail for me.
So would you say there's some similarities, and I agree with 100% of that for sure. Would you say there's similarities to getting people, you said you were a fitness trainer. Mm-hmm. You know how easy it is to get off the fitness train.
Oh, yeah.
And how hard it is to get on the fitness train.
Yeah, 100%.
I would think there's some similarities, would you say, to people that are stuck in a job, they think like, man, I'd like to be Ethan. I'd like to be Luke. I'd like to be whoever, that they see in real estate. Yeah. But maybe I could do that, but I mean, do you see some similarities to that inspiration?
100%. It's so people need motivation, right? And I think if this last year has taught us anything, people are. It's much easier to be driven by fear than it is to be driven by hope, which is why hope is so powerful, no matter what element of life you're talking about. And fear comes in a lot of different ways. You see that in the physical fitness world. You see that in people's emotional state of being, and in work especially. We are creatures of habit. No matter which way you slice and dice it, we are creatures of habit, and we will almost always choose the path of least resistance. And you can see that play out in the physical health world and fitness world for sure, right? Especially us in westernized America. We are creatures of comfort and creatures of habit, and that can't not trickle into your personal and work life as well. Which we see that, relationships, broken relationships, being involved in foster care and just like serving people in general, and also in work life, right? People get comfortable and people get complacent, and it's hard to make a change because it's scary, because you don't know. And a lot of people have so much at their fingertips. We're in the age of information, and people still struggle with, making conscious health decisions, because there's so many negatives and so many positives out there, and you can find pretty much any answer you want on the internet. Good old internet. Shout out to Google, right? Mm-hmm. And so it's like analysis paralysis, and it's fear, right? It's hard to break the mold of status quo when nobody else is doing it around you. And that goes into your work life. It's hard to walk away from a decently paying job that you don't hate 100%, right? To go do something that has so many unknowns and everybody has an opinion on, and there's a lot of negative Nancy's out there, as we've seen, and a lot of fear-driven people. And I think, like I said, whether it's so related, whether it's physical health or work-related type stuff.
Yeah, everyone, it's a human need. The need for certainty is a definite human need, and there's various levels of that. And I've seen it in my career, where so often the people that love us the most are the ones that douse our dreams and stop us from making changes, right?
Absolutely.
Because they care about you, and they're coming from often they're coming from a good place where they don't want you to get hurt. But I was thinking about it the other day, where when we're little, and when we're talking to kids, and as a foster parent, you can appreciate this, I'm sure, we don't tell kids, don't do that, don't do baseball because you might break your leg. Don't jump on the trampoline because you might break crack your skull. Like, for the most part, maybe there are helicopter parents these days, but I mean, when I grew up, it's like, get in the back of the truck and I'm going to Seattle, so just hang on. Things have changed a little bit, and maybe some of that's good, some of that, but sometimes I think we allow kids to be kids, and then for that, first 3 or 4 or 5 years, they're brave, and they almost have a limitless mentality. Like, I can do anything, because they don't know any better, right?
Exactly.
And then that acronym FEAR, F-E-A-R, false evidence appearing real,
that's good,
is so much a part of limiting beliefs. And what's interesting, and I think what I'd love to know is, would you say that it's fair that there's a lot of ways to sell real estate?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, and there's not a timeline. So, for example, there are people that maybe have that job that the reality is they can't quit that job till they find some replacement at a certain level. Mm-hmm. Well, we have a program for that.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
And speaking of programs, so you mentioned that you're on Luke and Sydney Groen's team. And for people that don't understand teams within Keller Williams, how would you describe it to someone thinking about getting into real estate?
Yeah, how would I describe teams? So, I would describe teams as the best decision ever when joining real estate. How the amazing business structure of Keller Williams, and how you have opportunities to work as a solo agent and maximize your earnings, right, is fantastic and absolutely amazing. I knew from the get-go that I wanted to be on a team, first and foremost for the learning and the educational aspect, to have somebody that's in your corner. It's like personal coaching. I'll give up XYZ percentage of my commission any day of the week to learn from people who have the heart of teachers and who have been successful and done it right before me. And so my perspective, and my biggest thing that I would say to people when it comes to explaining teams, is teams are the environment where you're going to thrive. Simply put, Keller Williams creates teams so you can be successful. And so you can learn how to do it well and do it right and do it at whatever level you are looking to do it for. Not everybody wants to do it full time. Not everybody wants to make $1 million out of it, right? Some people just want a little side hustle. Some people literally purely do it for the enjoyment or for the opportunities, or so that they can eventually do some investment stuff themselves and understand things more. And with the barrier to entry so small, it's kind of a no-brainer for a lot of those people, right? But no matter which way you slice or dice it, in my opinion, the team atmosphere, and we have so many great team leaders here at Keller Williams, and I've been just so over the moon grateful for Luke and Sydney in particular, just their patience and their willingness to coach and educate and to selflessly serve, because at the end of the day, these team leaders, they're really they're giving more than they're getting, and they do it because they have a heart to do it.
Yeah, I mean, when you're focused on an abundant mindset, which simply means, to me, my meaning is that for me to succeed, I don't have to take from you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's more of the scarcity mindset. And I think that's fairly typical in real estate, is that there's kind of dog eat dog if you're looking at it from the outside looking in. And that's true. I mean, it's true in any sales industry. There's, but we're also a culture of, although we're competing in the same office for the same listing at times, it's also a high five when someone else is successful and encouraging and being a part of an organization that allows for people to brand themselves and to brand teams and then to help mentor other people, and without the restrictions that you have to stay there. Like if you're the person that wanted to eventually build their own team but start on someone else's, that's perfectly okay.
100%. Peg me.
Yeah. All right. We'll be right back in just a few minutes.